What's up YouTube? Jason here with Jason Bytes Back. Episode number 8, I believe. Last month was more like a word vomit about what I wanted 2018 to be. So technically, this is episode number 8. Before I get too far into this video, I do want to say that down below I do have some affiliate links for Plex. And with these affiliate links, you have the opportunity to create either a free Plex account or purchase a lifetime Plex Pass subscription. Using either one of these links do help out my channel, and if you do get the lifetime Plex Pass subscription, you do get some awesome benefits. I said it before and I will say it again. My most favorite feature of the Plex Pass is having the ability to get a preview of upcoming features released only to Plex Pass holders. So if you haven't already, check out the links down below to sign up for your free Plex account or to purchase a lifetime Plex Pass subscription. Okay, so I do have questions for this video, but I do have a few things that I want to touch base on. Just a few things to actually talk about first. First of all, I think that I actually, because I word vomited last time, I don't know if I said thank you to my Patreon subscribers, so I'm going to start the video off by saying thank you, Patreon subscribers. Really, seriously, thank you. Of course, at the end of this video, you will be able to find your names as one of my Patreon subscribers listed there. So, definitely stick around to check that out. And the next thing I want to talk about, and yes, I will try to rush through some of this because I know I word vomit, so I'm gonna talk a little bit faster, but the next thing I want to talk about is actually CES. You see, early this month, I actually made a decision while CES was going on, and that was, I really want to go to CES. Now, I've wanted to go to CES for a long time. I've just been eyeing it down, kind of hopelessly dreaming. But earlier this month, early January, I made the decision to myself. I said, Jason, you're going to try everything you can to go to CES. So CES 2019, hopefully, I will be there. Now, this is definitely going to introduce a few challenges and mainly just financial stuff and computer stuff and things on my end, but I figured that if I make the decision this early in the year, that'll give me all year to prep for it. Now, some of the challenges, of course, are going to be finding a mobile way to edit video, which is obviously either going to be a laptop or like a micro PC of some sort or mini PC, whatever. So that's one of the bigger challenges. I did have some questions, that I asked a few other people about as far as how to get in, how to register. And from what I can tell, it only costs like $100 actually to register, which I thought on the CES website, it said $1,600. So I have to verify that and make sure that I'm in the right place here. But if it is that cheap, then all I have to do is worry about, getting a laptop or getting a miniature PC and then figuring out the flights and hotels and all that other stuff. And basically I figured I'm going to take my older camera, the one back there, record it in 1080p. So I don't, that way I don't have to buy like a super expensive laptop or whatever. But the long story short, as long as I don't have any, dramatic life changes, I'm gonna do what I can to go to CES 2019. But I do pose the question to all of you, has anyone ever flown with a small PC, like either like a micro ATX PC, something like that? And if so, did you just check your bag and keep it with you? Did you take a monitor with you? I asked that question because that is an option. If not, I think a laptop's obviously gonna be the best choice. But hey, never hurts to ask. The next thing I want to talk about is a new logo. And I think I touched base on this before in my last video, but I touched base a little bit on a logo that I designed, and I'll show it on the screen somewhere. I put it on Twitter. Some people liked it, some people hated it. I was thinking about getting a new shirt and a new, like a jacket or a hoodie or something to wear on camera. So pretty much what I'm at now is that if anyone out there has any like design skills and maybe has some free time to kill and wants to possibly try to create a logo or something that I could use, I'd definitely be much appreciated. Obviously, design work costs money, but I'm trying not to spend money because I'm saving money. So, if anyone's really bored out there, take a stab at it. I can tell you this, if I do like your logo and I do like the design and all that, and I do make a shirt out of it, that I'll probably end up sending you a shirt. And on the topic of sending people shirts, I touch base a little bit on my latest Patreon video. By the way, if you're a $10 plus Patreon subscriber, you can go to that Patreon page and see the latest video. But in that video, I touched a little bit on, taking whatever new logo, whatever new design I came up with and featuring that on a shirt, something exclusive to basically say, if my Patreon subscribers hit $50, maybe $60 total, donated to my channel, that they would get an exclusive shirt for that. Obviously, I'm like way far away from actually creating a merch store and selling merch. I don't have enough subscribers to have a successful merch store, so I'm not gonna jump into that right now, but I do wanna make something for me on screen and, possibly as a reward tier to some of my longtime Patreon subscribers. The next thing on the list, kind of new news for me, but I got a P.O. box. That's right, I decided to create a P.O. box because I kept having stuff sent to work and I just wanted my own little thing that I could use for merchants that want to send me review samples and things like that. And I ended up creating a P.O. box. And I figured, hey, if I'm gonna have a P.O. box dedicated to the channel, why not make it public just in case somebody wants to send me some fan mail or, something else. Finn, I'm looking at you. No. I know what you're thinking. No. Anyways, P.O. Box 77. That's right, P.O. Box 77, Hayesville, Kansas 67060. Moving forward, let's talk about computer upgrades. I watched that video with Paul where he was talking about why it sucks to build a gaming PC, and I agreed with a lot of stuff, but it never really hit me hard until I was thinking about, wow, it is hard for me sometimes to edit the 4K video from my FS7 smoothly. So I was tossing around the idea, and this is like a very loose toss, just like a random idea, but I was tossing around the idea of maybe doing some upgrades to my main, workstation computer. And I have to say, wow. Basically, I went back to 2015 when I bought the 64 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM for my PC that I'm using now. And then it was $420, and now it's like $830. Talk about mind blown. Like memory prices, wow, it sucks. So that definitely backtracked me, and then I started thinking about ways that I could upgrade what I have, keeping the memory and yada yada. Again, it's a loose thought that I have, but I just wanted to say PC upgrading sucks right now because memory is stupid. So, and the last thing I want to ask, anyone out there have any experience with selling stock video footage? I asked that because I've been trying to think of ways to save for this upcoming CES event and utilizing the tools that I already have to put it to work and make me some money potentially. And I thought about actually selling stock footage. Now this is actually an idea I had a long time ago when I first originally got the AX100. I talked about it and I wanted to do it, but I just never ended up jumping into that. But now I'm gonna approach that idea again. Hopefully it doesn't fizzle out again. As an example, when I had that idea, I ran out to the back pond and I recorded some ducks. Actually, I think they're geese. Yeah, I recorded some geese. I found one website, I think it's called videohive.net, where you can upload it and sell it for whatever you want. Like let's say I try to upload one for $3. It was just flying ducks or flying geese. The point is that, does anyone have experience doing that? And if so, what is the best website you found to not only A, get the most traffic, but B, have the highest chance of whatever you recorded being noticed and then potentially purchased? So I asked the community. Let me know. All right, 11 minutes of word vomit out of the way. Let's see if I can move on to the questions, shall we? First question, Corey, do you think you will ever do a YouTube subscriber meetup? Well, Corey, I think a strong word that you used here is ever. Right now, for the foreseeable future, I have no plans whatsoever to do any kind of subscriber meetup, mainly because one, I'm a small channel, and two, I'm in Kansas. So yeah, not only is it a low chance of people actually wanting to meet up with me, but it's also a lower chance that they're going to be in Kansas. But hey, who knows? Sometime in the future, maybe if I get bigger, maybe I'm going to CES or doing something in a major city, who knows? I might do a meetup way down the line. Muhammad asked, can you use it outdoor? Which was a question based off of an indoor camera that I reviewed, and your answer is probably not. I say that because a lot of the indoor versus outdoor, they're designed completely different. There's different housing, weatherproofing, coating on the boards. I mean, all kinds of things that you need in order to make sure that a camera will not only work outside, but it will actually last and continue to work outside. So yeah, if you get something like this, you throw it outdoors, it'll probably work, maybe for a week, maybe for a month, but eventually it's probably gonna give out. Loco the Great? Some that I have seen change the connector on the drive to stop you using them as internal drives. This was on the video I did with hard drive shucking. And yes, I actually Googled this drive that was sent in that drive that I shucked, and there is like a 3.3 volt pin that they have enabled that actually forces the hard drive to go into a constant reboot mode. I think they do it on purpose, but basically when I put it into my Unraid server, I don't know if, either A, I got really lucky and I didn't have that pin enabled, or B, my server backplate just doesn't have that going to that power. Like that connection is not there. For me, I lucked out. Whether it's server-based or hard drive-based, I haven't had a problem. Next question from Sergio. That cover art is fantastic. Where did you get from? My Google foo is weak on finding Google foo. Oh, I read this. I'm like, Google pho? But Google foo, you know, like kung fu? This was a question on the artwork that I had on one of my videos for James Bond, and the answer is really simple. It was just in Plex. You can go into Plex, you can change your poster art, and you can scroll through different options that Plex automatically selects for you. If you don't see it, then you might have to change what scanner you used in order to address what movie that is to pull the metadata. For example, the Plex movie directory, I think is what it's called, or something like that. That's what gives me the cover arts to choose from automatically. I don't have to go out and find them myself. Next question is from Tyrone. I would not want to put 8 terabytes of data on a single drive because what if the drive suddenly fails? You would lose all that data, so what's the point exactly? The only point I can see is just another show-off selling point. I read this question because I actually used to think when these things first came out, like 8 terabytes, 10 terabytes, I used to actually have that same thought. I'm thinking to myself, putting so much data on one disk, that is just a huge point of failure, and why would you want to do that? But then I get into the server thing, and it's like all 8 terabytes are going to be used and backed up and have parity already with them. So even if it does go out, if all goes well, I shouldn't lose that data. But putting that aside, however you use it, putting all that aside, I also look at this. If you're building a massive array, you need a massive amount of storage. It really boils down to space. Not the space of the hard drive, but physical space of putting the hard drive into your server. Like I think the one that I have right now, I can put 24 drives in. That's a 64 terabyte plus 2 8 terabyte parity drives. So I guess technically that's like what, 80 terabytes worth of hard drives. And right now I have 18 terabytes of free space, and it's shrinking dramatically. And it's basically because of this stupid camera and the stupid large video files that it has, and putting all my YouTube stuff on it, it just fills it up stupid fast. Stupid. So I still have space to go. I can put 4 terabyte drives in it, but really I'm gonna hit a point where I run out of places to put drives, and I'm gonna end up having to swap 4 terabyte drives out or start another server that's dedicated or has its own thing or whatever. So moving forward, to me, I'm not saying I won't put another 4 terabyte drive in, but just to save space, I think I'm only going to add 8 terabyte drives to that array to make the best use of the available space in the server. And that is why you do that. Eric asked, how do you test how many streams your server can support? I have seen you do it in a couple videos, but you have never explained the process, but have never heard an explanation of the process. Icon has read. Well, Eric, I think I actually explained it maybe in one of the early Battle OS series where I essentially just launched multiple windows with Chrome. I used Firefox, I used Opera, I just used multiple browsers. Basically, I limited myself to 4 or 5 streams per browser, started another browser, started 4 or 5 more streams up, and just kept going until it crashed. And this worked all well and good. I was able to test a lot and get a good number, a good reading. It was great. Plex has been making a lot of changes to their website. And I'm not only talking about like the Plex web, but they're making a lot of graphic user interface changes to things like the Xbox and Android and stuff like that. But specifically with the Plex web, the way it's changed and the way it operates, that method no longer works. I can't remember the number of streams, but it's like 4 or 5 streams and the thing just craps out. Doesn't matter, you know, what browser you use or how many you use or whatever, it just starts throwing up issues. So that's the way I used to test it. In the future, I don't know how I'm going to test it to be accurate unless I just have like 15 different devices, you know, playing transcoded streams. I don't really know. I'm gonna chalk that down to just one of those bridges I'll worry about crossing after I build it. Next one is from Kevin. Pretty damn awesome. Where did you get the Plex hoodie? You mean this hoodie right here? Yeah. I gotta say, it's actually really soft. I don't know about warmth because I've literally never worn it outside, but it's pretty soft. If you want to find out how to get Plex gear like this hoodie or this shirt, I will throw links in the description down below. No, I'm not getting paid to sell Plex merchandise, but I do like their hoodie, so hey, I'll whore it out. Why not? Links below. Mazin Jason, you should share your experience on white label drives after pre-clearing them. Now this is also on that shucking video, which I found kind of an interesting question because I really haven't had any experience that would differ from all of the other drives that I've put in my server. Granted, this was an 8 terabyte drive, so it took something like, I don't know, 5 or 10 years to pre-clear 3 times, but I mean, you pre-clear it and you assign it as a parity drive and that's it. I can't even give you speed on it because it's used as a double parity. I haven't even used it for like just raw speed. I mean, it is essentially a Western Digital Red 5400 drive, so it's gonna run at probably 5400 speeds. As far as I can tell from the logo and possibly that little extra pin, that drive doesn't act or do anything different than regular drives. So hopefully that answers your question. Next question is from Oliver. He asked, why the F wouldn't you pre-clear it a few times before voiding your warranty? Well, Oliver, I have a simple answer to your question, and that is, I like to live dangerously. Last question from Barrick. Actually, 2 questions in one. Sneaky. Well, I thought I might have talked about this, but maybe not. Okay, first, have you had any cooling issues since moving my server? You probably not producing a huge amount of heat, but it's confined in a small area, less blah, blah, blah. Okay, actually, no. I think technically I went up maybe 3 degrees if I'm really stressing it, but for the most part with the room it's in and located in the basement and stuff like that, it runs pretty cool. So I haven't noticed any adverse effects on temperature whatsoever. The second question is there a reason you didn't move your rack into the room where your modem is located? I swear I talked about this before. Just in case I haven't talked about it, basically I have the modem and the router located kind of as center as I can in my basement. And I do that because I want the best Wi-Fi from one single access point. And I actually thought about putting my server in that same room, but there is a lot of water going on in that room that really kind of scares me. So the modem and the router are there just for the purpose of being centralized or as centralized as I can. The server is not in there because there's a lot of water. Let's be honest, if like a water breaks and it ruins a router or a modem, it'd suck, but I'm not gonna cry. If water breaks and ruins, all of my servers and other computer stuff in the rack, I'd probably cry. And that is the last question of the day. So guys, once again, I want to thank my Patreon subscribers. I'm going to list you at the end of this video. You guys are awesome. Hopefully I can work up a new logo, get some new shirts, get something new to wear on camera, and I might be able to even reward you with something fancy for those long-time Patreon peeps. If you have any questions that you want in the next video, definitely leave them down below. I always start with the last Jason Bytes Back video when I look for questions. So post them down below. I'll start there. That's the best chance you'll have of getting your question in to the next Jason Bytes Back. But hey, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and have yourself a good day. Thank you.